Kuala Lumpur and Bangkok are two of the most well-developed and stunning places in Southeast Asia. But which one is best for lifestyle and retirement? It will ultimately come down to your personal preferences, but to help you out, let's compare KL and Bangkok by discussing 10 different topics. First up on our list, friends, is climate and things to do. If you enjoy warm, well, actually I should say hot weather year-round, then you'll love either Kuala Lumpur, or KL for short, or Bangkok. But there are some key differences. Let's talk about those real quick. Although both cities have tropical climates, KL has more of a tropical rainforest climate. Bangkok, on the other hand, is classified as a tropical monsoon climate with 3 main seasons. The hottest months are between March to June, then a rainy season between July to October, and a cool season from November to February. Let's be honest here, both places are hot. Both have temperatures averaging over 30 degrees Celsius, which is around 86 degrees Fahrenheit, for most of the year. Remember, this is an average number and there are days or months where it is much hotter. For KL, the cooler months tend to be January and February at around 27 degrees Celsius or 80.6 degrees Fahrenheit. If looking strictly at the monthly hours of sunshine, Bangkok has less sunshine from June through September, while KL has a pretty consistent amount year-round. And I mean, having exposure to sunshine is great for serotonin levels and makes it easier to stick to your outdoor plans. As for rainy days, friends, you'll experience more rainfall in Bangkok during May through October, and in KL, you'll get rain every month pretty consistently, with slightly more rainfall between October through December. I personally am a big fan of rain, so I would lean towards KL in this regard. Now, of course, let's compare average day and night temperatures between Bangkok and KL. The main difference here is that KL tends to stay in the lower 30 degrees Celsius or 86 degrees Fahrenheit, while Thailand can get much hotter, especially between the months March through June. And yes, one more important aspect of climate is humidity. Having high amounts of humidity can make these cities feel quite congested and even hotter. On average, the most humid month in Bangkok is September at 79% humidity. The least humid month at 68% is in December, and the average annual percentage of humidity is 73%. On to Kuala Lumpur. December on average is the most humid month at 83%. July is the least humid month at 79% relative humidity, and the average annual percentage of humidity is 81%. Although KL tends to be a bit more humid throughout the year, Bangkok may feel even hotter due to its high temperatures, which makes sense why many people say that Bangkok is very hot and humid compared to KL. So in terms of climate and weather, it will come down to your personal preferences. But let's remember, folks, that these are well-developed cities, so getting out of the heat and enjoying AC is very easy by going to a close Starbucks or a shopping mall. Now on to things to do in each city. In Kuala Lumpur, you get to enjoy a big, modern, and clean city with amazing architecture. I mean, these Petronas towers are so gorgeous, stretching over 1,400 feet in the air, and saying that they are breathtaking is an understatement. And of course, there are many gorgeous shopping malls, amazing hiking trails, and lush rainforests. And you can see many iconic sites such as the Batu Caves. But I've got to say that Bangkok truly is stunning and unique. Did you know that there are over 40,000 temples with over 30,000 still in use? I love this aspect of my stay there, seeing the beautiful temples and taking in the rich culture. It was so fun, I wish I could have seen more of them. A few of the more popular temples include the Wat Arun, or Temple of the Dawn, Wat Phra Keo, Temple of the Emerald Buddha, and Wat Prayun. Please forgive me for any mispronunciation. Honestly, there are so many amazing places to see. And yes, the nightlife is on a whole other level, and you'll basically never be bored in Bangkok. There's always a new adventure waiting, somewhere fun to go, lively night markets, and so on. Now, when looking at both places, you can have a great shopping experience and try out amazing street foods. More to come on food and nightlife later on. Up next is the topic of affordable cost of living. So you'll actually find similar costs between the two, with KL coming out as slightly more affordable. According to Expadison.com, the monthly cost of living in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia is 4,894 Malaysian ringgit. Remember that exchange rates do fluctuate, but as of right now, that is 1,043 US dollars in living expenses per month for a single individual. Now let's pull up Bangkok, Thailand for a single person's estimated monthly costs, which is 63,163 Thai baht. With the current exchange rate, that equals about $1,733. Okay, this is not a set in stone amount, I understand. One person's living or retirement expenses will be completely different than another person's, due to our personal preferences and lifestyle choices. You could certainly see someone in KL spending up to $1,500 or more, or over $2,000 in Bangkok. So instead of looking at a specific amount, let's give you a range for cost of living per place. For Kuala Lumpur, a good range for cost of living per month is $1,000 to $1,500 US, and Bangkok is $1,500 to $2,000 per month in expenses. From Numbeo.com, we can see another nice cost of living comparison. Kuala Lumpur's cost of living is 14.5% lower than Bangkok. With rent included, Kuala Lumpur's cost of living is 17.2% lower than in Bangkok. KL also wins with rent prices being 24.3% lower than Bangkok. Restaurant prices, on the other hand, here are 18.4% higher than Bangkok. KL wins with grocery prices being 12.3% lower. The local purchasing power in Kuala Lumpur is 147.3% higher than in Bangkok. For those of you who have been and lived in both places, do you feel like these cost of living figures are accurate? Please drop a comment and let me know what you think. Okay friends, let's talk about infrastructure and transportation. So Kuala Lumpur is a very advanced city where you can see a nice mix of both modern and traditional architecture. You can go to incredible spas and experience top-notch healthcare in world-class medical centers. So overall, I found that KL was very well maintained, quiet, and clean, with the subway system being very robust and widely used by the city's residents. So you can easily access the LRT, MRT, or monorail. But getting around by car can be a little bit of a hassle at times since the roads can get very congested, especially in downtown KLCC. Now into Bangkok, which is much larger and more dense than KL. It also is well developed and has two very popular and affordable transportation options: the BTS SkyTrain and the Metro. Taxi services such as Grab are available in both countries, and in Bangkok, I loved the experience of taking the riverboat taxi. Truly, it was such a fun and cool experience. You've got to try it out. As for how the skylines look, I feel like they're both very gorgeous, but I tend to lean a bit towards KL, especially due to those Petronas towers that look really great. Which one do you prefer? Remember that no matter where you choose for living or retirement, you will have access to everything you need and want, with many Western options too. You can also receive top-class medical care, which is so important in retirement, with amazing hospitals and for a fraction of the cost too. On to people and lifestyle. It's a given that you will find friendly people in both areas. The ethnicity variety is probably more diverse in KL, with many people being Malay, Indian, and Chinese. And I've got to say that the overall attitude towards foreigners seem to be very welcoming and hospitable. A huge pro is that communication can be much easier in Kuala Lumpur because English is very widely spoken there. I certainly noticed this myself while in Malaysia and was able to communicate on a deeper level, you could say, than when in Thailand. And for lifestyle, many say that KL is great for settling down, for families, and for older people. And population-wise, there are less people, so overall it can feel a little less dense than Bangkok. So the Thailand locals are mostly Thai, and I loved getting to know them. They have this upbeat and happy personality which will really put a smile on your face. Something unique about Bangkok is that there is a lot of nightlife. So I'd say in this category, they definitely win. And when I was in KL, I even noticed that in KLCC, many places are closed at night. And yes, there are still some night markets, but I think that Bangkok has even more shopping and food at night. So I mean, if you're looking for more of a fun party vibe and honestly lots of entertainment, then Bangkok may be the place for you. This is probably a big reason for why there are so many young and single tourists in Bangkok. One more thing to remember is that KL and Bangkok are both very populated, so just be careful for scams and theft, although both are considered relatively safe countries. On to culture and food. Yes. Due to Malaysia's cultural diversity, there are many different delicious food options. We were able to find tasty Malay, Chinese, Indian, and more types of foods. Some examples include the delicious Malay national dish, nasi lemak, and there's also the satay, char kway teow, ais sendal, and so much more. So if food variety is your preference, then KL may be the best choice for you. But again, I've got to say that Bangkok has some incredible foods, including street foods, with a lot of the foods focusing on delicious spices and herbs. There's the delicious and famous pad thai, fried banana pancakes, Thai steamed dumplings, massaman curry. It's so good. I think I've definitely got a soft spot for Thai food, so this is a hard choice for me. For those of you who have been to these places, do you prefer the food from KL or Bangkok more? One more thing about food is to remember that both places have many Western options, from Taco Bell to getting delicious pizza. So while living or retiring in these places, you can definitely lean towards that option when you're craving it. Let's talk about the retirement visa process for KL and for Bangkok. Up front, I want to say that many of my other videos go into more detail, but let's start with the MM2H, or Malaysia My Second Home Retirement or Long-Term Visa for Malaysia. So there are 3 categories that you could apply for. Let's review each one briefly by looking at visa duration and financial requirements. For the silver level, the visa lasts 5 years and you need a fixed deposit of $150,000. The gold level, which is a step above silver, is a 15-year visa with a fixed deposit of $500,000 or $500,000. The highest level that you could apply for is a platinum or 20-year visa, which has a $1 million fixed deposit. In Thailand, there's a retirement visa known as a non-immigrant O-A visa, where you're able to stay in Thailand for 1 year period, but you must report at the immigration office every 30 days. So that alone is a bit more bothersome than the MM2H visa, but let's continue on. Let's look at the financial requirements. You must either have a Thai bank account showing a deposit amount of a minimum of 800,000 Thai baht. With the current exchange rate, that translates to about $21,940. Or you must have a monthly income of at least 65,000 Thai baht, which translates to about $1,782 per month. In Thailand, I found another retirement visa, which is called the Long-Term Resident Visa or LTR visa. The category is called Wealthy Pensioner for retirees aged 50 years and older who have an annual pension or stable income. The financial requirement is having a personal income of at least $80,000 at the time of the application. But if you're under $80,000 but over $40,000 in annual income, then you must have at least $250,000 in Thai government bonds, foreign direct investment, or Thai property. To save you some time on the math, $80,000 of personal income is about $6,667 per month. I'll make sure to leave a link for you in the description where you can check out more details about this visa. So after reviewing these topics today, which place, Kuala Lumpur or Bangkok, do you prefer and why? I'll look for your answer in the comment section below. At the end of the day, each person's preferences will vary, and that's totally fine. I cannot highly recommend enough to visit each country and city first to get a feel for yourself of the daily life. Go out and talk to the locals, eat lots of food, and make sure you stay long enough to get an idea of which place may be a better fit for you. Also remember that these 2 countries are very close in proximity. Just a little over 2 hours and you can take a flight between KL and Bangkok. Essentially, you can get the best of 2 worlds here. Thanks so much for sticking around to the end of this video. To not miss out on more content to come about living and retiring abroad, please subscribe and I will catch you next video. Peace out.